on-road 8 months in my big blue ox, and I've been to 31 states, and I'd like to share with you my top 3 favorite states that I've been to so far. I'm rating these on a couple different things. One of them is van friendliness. Like, are there places to park? Are there free places to park? Is it easy to find rest stops? Are there beautiful sights to be seen? And how are the people? Did I have good experiences with the people when I was there? How were the drivers? All of those things are being incorporated in my mind when I ended up picking out these 3 states as being my top van life states. Here's a big bit.
So what state is number 1 in my opinion out of the 31 that I've been to? There's still some coming up that may end up taking the place of these 3, but what's number 1? Any guesses? Any at all? I would like to see your guesses, so comment below. It's gonna be kind of cliche, but Colorado. And it's that I'm picking Colorado as number 1 for a lot of different reasons. My first place I visited in Colorado was Telluride, and I had so many adventures in Telluride, and I met so many beautiful people. I spent 3 weeks there, which is the longest I've spent in any one place along my journey, and that was on the very first leg of my journey. So you would think, since then, in all my traveling, that I would have encountered another place quite as magical, but Telluride just had a special magic that I haven't found anywhere else yet. But aside from having a really wonderful experience in Telluride, Colorado gets points for other reasons. If you look at the iOverlander map of Colorado set to wild camping, Colorado has a ton of wild camping available. If you pull it up on iOverlander, you will see it is absolutely covered in wild camping, which is free, and in Colorado, it's going to be absolutely beautiful. So that made traveling through Colorado a lot less of a nightmare because there was always a place that I could safely stay overnight for free, and it was probably going to be in a really beautiful area. 2 of my favorite places that I've been to on the road are in Colorado. Number 1 being Telluride, and number 2 being the Twin Lakes. Telluride was actually kind of tough to stay in because there's only 2 boondocking places to go, but they do have parking in the city that you can use during the day, which a lot of little towns that you go to don't have any public parking, and you're just doing street parking, which can be tough in any kind of oversized vehicle. Something else that I specifically liked about Telluride was that despite being a small town that has a population of I think about 2,000, there's always new people coming into town. When I was there, there were 5 different festivals going on, some of them overlapping. Over that course of 3 weeks, there was not one day where there wasn't some kind of festival happening, and so that brings in a lot of people. So despite it being known for being a ski town, during the summer it is bright and vibrant, and there is tons of new people coming in and going out, making it a really interesting place to stay. You never get bored, you always get to meet new people, and the people that do live there are incredibly friendly. I really like to describe Telluride as a town of huggers because out of all the places I've been to, every person that I met in Telluride was the kind of person that hugs you after they meet you. So you introduce yourself, you have a short conversation, and it ends with a hug if you're in Telluride. Telluride also had the magic, and Colorado in general also has the magic of attracting a lot of other nomads, and I count that as a positive. Some people may see that as a negative, as in the places that you go to camp have a lot of other people. I view that as a positive because I love meeting people on the road, and also being a solo female van lifer, I get comfort out of there being at least two other vehicles around when I find a place to park. It makes me feel safer. So when I parked up in the mountainside of Telluride, and there were at all times at least 5 other vehicles parked up in that area, RVs, Airstreams, vans, people tent camping, I felt really safe. But on top of that, I got to meet other nomads, and I made friends. I made really good friends with a group of other nomads, and it's absolutely been a delight keeping up with those people since then. I'm here to interrupt my video forever. One of the struggles I've had in a lot of the other states is that I was completely alone in 90% of the places that I've gone camping. And so being able to actually encounter other nomads and other van lifers while staying in campsites in Colorado, for me, was a big positive. Twin Lakes, Colorado was incredibly special because I'm a fisherman, and so when I went fishing there and I was catching a fish like every single cast, it blew my mind and I had such a good time. Aside from that, Twin Lakes has some really awesome boondocking. The roads are a little rough, maybe a little bit more than a little rough. But the lakes themselves were warm, full of fish, and the sunsets there were absolutely incredible, which was partially in thanks to the wildfires going on at the time, but you know, I'll take what I can get. Colorado's landscapes, the scenery, the people, even Denver, Colorado was incredibly friendly in that I was able to find residential spots to park, and then I was able to ride my bike around the city and explore. So even in Denver, that was one of the least stressful cities I've had to stay in since I've been on the road, and I've avoided cities for a large portion of it because each time I go to a city I get very stressed about leaving the van alone or worrying that somebody's going to break my window. But in Denver, it was a really relaxing experience, and they have beautiful, beautiful parks that a ton of people come around, especially right after work, and there's great people watching. And all of the bars in Denver, Colorado were a lot of fun. Finally, for Colorado, one of the other special experiences that I had there was being invited to the Black Monarch Hotel, which is a little boutique hotel in Victor, Colorado. Victor, Colorado is this little bitty mining town that only has a few houses and a few big buildings, and one of those buildings was bought and renovated into a beautiful boutique hotel where each room has its own theme. And there's also this really kind of witchy feeling gift shop downstairs. The views in Victor, Colorado were absolutely beautiful, but that hotel is what really, really made it. I got to stay in their occult themed room, and it was a little bit scary because the hotel's actually supposed to be haunted. I guess it used to be a brothel, and now it's a haunted hotel. So between Telluride being an entire city full of huggers, some of the most incredible views I've ever seen in my life, and the abundance of free campsites all over Colorado, and the van friendliness of Denver, how relaxed I was staying in the city, overall, Colorado just has a lot to offer. The biggest downside to Colorado while I was there were the gas prices, which was $4.50 a gallon while I was staying there. So it's a good thing I stayed in one place for most of it. So that's been my experience on the road so far. Of the 31 states, my top favorites are Michigan, South Dakota, and number one is Colorado. Thank you, and if you have any questions or if you've got a video that you want to see, let me know in the comments. Have a nice day.